Hello everybody, this is a quick little intro vid that I'm redoing because I realized I was stating something for a future episode that doesn't need to be stated just yet. But basically, as normal, during a Clangen, I'll be rambling about something. The same thing as last episode where I'm going to be doing the B footage of it and then the audio talk over separate. So with that said, a quick note in regards to future vids. While I don't expect this to be going to a media effect, especially since I don't think I have that many people on this channel versus my main channel, if there's topics you want me to talk about, please comment down below. I might also bring this up in actual Clangen videos, just as a quick note also. But yeah, with that said, this video probably is going to be a mixture of rambling about Tales of Rhazie and Warrior Cats, because I want to ramble about Warrior Cats, but since it's also, this is a July video, and the month of July is when I started Tales of Rhazie, formerly known as Black Dawn series, basically 12 years ago, because this episode will come out a few days before that. 12 years ago, aka in 2014, I started Tales of Rhazie. So yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of rambling on regards to Tales of Rhazie and Warrior Cats. With that said, I'm gonna jump into actually recording the B footage probably within the next 10 or so minutes, if I don't decide to finish up the prep, because fun fact, I've been prepping all the cats. Episode 10 took a bit because 4 sections. I technically speaking just have episode 11 and 12 to prep, and by prep I mean bust. Technically speaking, the background prep of that took forever, which made me realize I want to do B footage, was getting a base color down and then cleaning it up, which some cats, the line art, for whatever reason, the selection did not make a clean one, so they might be missing a little bit of where it should be, but it's fine. I'll fix it before I start the recording. I'll double check that I don't need to do that on any of these cats. And I'm pretty sure all these cats, if I've changed the palette from what originally I clicked, I've automatically clicked the full body bust. And minor reminder also, next year we'll start actually acknowledging the new templates, provided that I've actually got them done. That is the hope. Some cats, namely Eagle Feather here, I might have put an extra color to grab from, because yeah. Fun fact, I was gonna have Eagle Feather have a bit of white on their face, or something like that. I decided against it. But yeah. With that said, let's get into whatever topic, or however I'm starting the topic, and the B footage recording. Continuing on from the intro, in regards to Warrior Cats and Tales of Rhazie, they're linked, they're both cats. Originally, how do I put this? I tried writing warrior fanfiction way back in time, and I found I actually liked not writing stuff within the direct clans, because it allowed me to make more unique lore, was my train of thought. So there's that. Because there are things I like and dislike when it comes to warriors. I like the ranking system. Do I think that we need more examples of apprentices failing their assessments? Because, as far as I can tell, Flamepaw turning to Nightheart was the only example that I can remember off the top of my head of cats failing their assessment to become a warrior. Yes, there's other things too, I've always disliked the thought of healers cannot have kits. Whether they need a rule to be allowed to have kits is a different story. And I'll probably get more in depth this at one point in time, or ramble some of the same points with more finer details, because this is a Clangen vid, and I just need this for a topic to talk about while trying to not go over the amount of time that I have for what the speed paint is, which, if I remember right, it's about an hour. So I'll keep it under that. Probably try to make it about half hour rambling, but there's like other things like in words that I like and dislike. Like, here's how I technically speaking think the Medicine Cat Code should be handled in regards to kits. Like, the Medicine Cat needs an apprentice, whether they're a Tom or Molly, and preferably have at least one other queen in the clan. Whether it be a buddy system or not is a different story. And about a week or so back before recording this, I was looking for some more cat fanfictions because I wanted to go back to get into reading some fanfiction, as one does, because sometimes fanfiction does feel better than the actual stories themselves. No offense, Warrior Cats, but sometimes reading fanfictions is better content, I feel like. Partly because sometimes fanfiction is not limited to this is aimed at children. And I'm aware that I'm outside the age demographic. I'm in my late 20s. So I'm definitely far out of it. And while I, technically speaking, as I'm recording this, have not read the newest arc, and I have read most of the books. I never read Profeather's Trial. I never read Monster's Confession. And Leoparster's Honor, I got at least 14 chapters in before I had to stop. I stopped reading the not one-shots. Well, I guess they're only in one shot. I stopped reading the Kindle volumes in their sets about partway through Thunderstar's special ebook, where I know for a fact we lose his first deputy and then we gain his second deputy because Lightning Tail is gonna die, and then Owl, what is his name? Owl something? I can't remember what Owl's name is, but I remember he was the second leader of ThunderClan, and I just couldn't handle it. And then there was other disparities at the time when I was reading it, like Spotted Leaf's Heart. Why? The thing is, Spotted Leaf's Heart comes off very much as a grooming situation where they blame the victim. And apparently the author who wrote that, the Erin Hunter, who it was her last time writing for Warrior Cats, because that was going to be her goodbye to writing Warrior Cats, whatnot. Didn't even realize she wrote this Claw as somewhat of a groomer towards Spotted Leaf. Like, there's like, it eventually led to me reading a fanfiction that I've read and keeping up on with, which is called Burning Thistles, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, Burning Thistles, where a pair of people who are friends wrote, what if one, Spotted Leaf's heart resulted in stuff happening, is in one, Thistleclaw getting exiled, two, if Spotted Leaf was the mother of Firestar and his siblings, which was I cannot remember all their names. It's Lightning, Copper, I cannot remember all their names, I'm sorry. Granted, they also have a AU to their AU, but it's actually a really good one. It handles the mature topics. It doesn't get into graphic detail with the mature topics. Sure, murder can get graphic, but that's fine. It's Warrior Cats. they have very much intently described murder and death before. Example, Tiger Star getting slit open by Scourge in the main books in the first arc. But yeah, like there's some other things. Like, as I said, I can understand if medicine cats can't have kits if they don't have an apprentice. That can make sense. Further noting back into the fanfiction thing, because it was I found this fanfiction. It was just a one-off thing. I was particularly looking for stuff in regards to Hawkfrost, because I don't know, I saw someone mention they would like to see a Hawkfrost AU where he gets redeemed, and it just led me to looking up Hawkfrost on fanfiction, not fanfiction.net. Fanfiction.net doesn't work for me half the time. On AO3. I could have checked Wattpad, but I'll do that later. Wattpad is hit or miss sometimes. Minor note. I do have a fanfiction.net account. It technically speaking has stuff on there. Will I ever finish anything that's on there? Not unless I revamp it. And if I revamp it, it's going on AO3 and Wattpad and fanfiction.net and maybe DeviantArt, just because. But one of the fanfics that utilized Hawkfrost, it was more so went over what if the medicine cats had a different code where they actually followed the quote-unquote splitting of the star or whatnot. Basically taking how Mothwing gave up all her kits to the other clans, and it played off the fact that every once in a while a medicine cat will get chosen to have kits from and have sires from each of the clans, and those kits will be given out to the other clans, preferably aimed at the clans who need an apprentice the most and whatnot. And I thought that was a very interesting concept, which I don't normally see. And personally speaking, here's the reasoning why I hate the medicine cat code as it is, that doesn't allow romance. One, the amount of times that code has been broken. Spotted Leaf being in love with Firestar, I can be forever convinced it's a retcon that was decided after the first arc was originally written. Yellowfang broke the code, had Broken Star, for some reason was punished for it, but it was actually a punishment aimed at Shadow Clan and the rest of the clans for driving out Sky Clan, apparently. Leafpool broke the code. For some reason, Dark Clan was like, yeah, we're gonna send you the Dark Force, but it was for the reasons you had the kids was part of a prophecy. I feel like there's a couple other cases. Like, I remember Elderheart fell in love with some random kitty pet, but also maybe had feelings for Needletail. Cinderheart apparently had feelings for Fireheart, aka Firestar. Jayfeather for Half Moon, maybe Barrelite. There are fanfictions that ship them. Some fanfictions actually ship Poppy Frost with Jayfeather due to their bonding when she was sick, if I'm recalling Witch Cat correctly, because it's been a while since Power 3. It's been a long while, and that's like actually one of the first arcs I read, because random fun fact about me, the first two arcs I read basically in tandem, because how do I put this, when I went to my local library, both Midnight and Into the Wild said book 1, and it didn't say which was the starter really, and nor did I understand how to read the book order allegiance thing. I did not know how to read that properly. So I read Midnight, and then I started reading Into the Wild and aka The Prophecies Begin, and then I started reading both of them at once, and then when I got to Power of Three, I read them normally. And then, yeah, kept reading them. I also read Seekers at one point. It was pretty good. But, fun fact, I got the first book at a yard sale. My dad used to joke it was the most expensive quarter he ever spent, because that was 12 books. Because Seekers was a 2-series season. Survivors also was there. Survivors, I feel hit or miss about. Like, I feel like it could have been better. I kind of wish the little side novels, the quote-unquote ebook edition stuff, somehow connected to the main story a bit more than just backstory. I really wish some of those characters would reappear, or some of that stuff would have been mentioned in the main books and not make it feel like, oh, this is subcanon. I'm aware Warriors is not the greatest series. They retcon themselves all the time, sometimes arc to arc. Personally speaking, I'm convinced they should have just gave Deathwing heterochromia. It would have solved the debate long ago. She has one blue eye and one green eye. There. And maybe she has a little bit of partial heterochromia, or central heterochromia, so therefore she also has the gold. Therefore she has all the eye color. Perfect way to solve the Deathwing eye color issue. Give her heterochromia. Though it has been clearly decided for a bit now that her eyes are actually green now. Also, another thing I've noticed since Power 3 and more so Omen of the Stars ended, after that, characters keeping their personalities when they were side characters is a thing that's not really present. I love how I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna read Tales of Rhazie here, but I'm more so aimed at Warrior Cats, but that's fine. The current Clangen is Warrior Cat adjacent. But personally speaking, what I would suggest would happen if the Medicine Cat code was to change, and it's just aimed at one thing, and that's Medicine Cats can't have kits. The Medicine Cat must have an apprentice that is trained enough to handle the situation on their own. Maybe be almost fully trained or fully trained or whatnot. So there's that. In regards to how I would do it for Tales of Rhazie, first of all, currently there's no rule against any of the healers having kits. Currently, as of the second draft, which is incomplete, and I don't know if I'm completing it, Ren has had kits, or is going to be having kits, because I left her off pregnant for the second arc. Former healer, Shadow, aka because she's deceased, has kits. Claire has had many kits. And made me realize eventually that, oh my, Slade's family tree is very huge. I should probably tone that down. Does not tone that down, but I'm adding more bloodlines that are not just Slade's bloodline, because I didn't notice when I was starting to plot stuff for the third draft that most of the cats that were having kits were related to Slade. It was mostly Hazel and Shard and Claire who were having children. Which isn't the greatest. And then you have Cassidy and Mo having kits, and the thing is, those kits are related. Because Cassidy has a common ancestor to Mo's kits, which is through Dustin. Not Dustin, through Dusty. And I'm not gonna get into Rose in how I'm going to handle that situation. I might just scrap that situation in regards to her having kids with Shrew, because she is actually one of the few characters in River Valley who's against the idea of a dynasty. Actually, I do want it for the third draft versions to actually get more in depth to why River Valley has a dynasty, because to be honest, Minnow did actually curse the group to make it so it's only cats of her bloodline, and it's allowed for temporary situations that's not her bloodline. Mostly through Gale making a tweak to it, and since he's of her descent, he was able to make a ruling that in cases of a tyrant, the tyrant can be deposed, and we just raise the heir, aka the child of, or whatever closest kin, to take place of the said tyrant. So River Valley has its own thing and system. It's just not well known in the group because it's supposed to be a hidden rule to prevent said tyrant from trying to disable that. Not that River Valley gets many tyrants, because they don't. They actually are pretty lucky in that. Like, they've maybe had only a few leaders that were terrible. And some of them have just had justifiable reasons for some of the atrocities they might have committed. Like, one of the leaders who's not named made a rule Twisted Shadows cannot have kids, cannot be part of the group. But the justified reason was she just had Twisted Shadows part of a faction, but they came in the group as spies and acting like they were strays just to kill some of the cats who were same-sex couples. And while she survived that attack and whatnot, her lover did not. And that's why it leads to Shattering the Night, where Shattered Knight, or Knight as he is the POV character at that point, him not stating he's River Valley, he's Twisted Shadow, kind of saves his ass, but also is his greatest downfall. Alpha, technically speaking, and Corrupted Desires goes through basically the same thing, except she knowingly did not say it because she knew that of the danger of that. It's just she had never intended to stay or fall in love with Oak. And whenever I get to finishing it, which in all honesty there's not much left of Corrupted Desires to write, I'm just procrastinating on it. I'm in the middle of writing, technically speaking, where I left off, the consequences of her falling in love with a cat River Valley, even though that shouldn't be a crime. And whatnot. Like, there's some stuff from Warrior, some stuff from other stuff, like, that I might be willing to pull from. Like, I keep wanting to pull the cats know how to use some tools and whatnot, basic leathering, from, like, the Home comic, or a Sumner, I think that's how you pronounce it, Sumner, aka that dog comic. I don't know if I'll remember to put that on screen or not when I'm editing this or not. Like, I want to pull that kind of idea. One of the things that's actually slowing me down from wanting to write third draft is I actually want to develop the groups a bit more and figure out how they function a bit better before I fully do that. Also, I need to tweak the ranking system a bit and how each group has their own little council. But yeah, so there's that. I probably will get into this more depth if you guys want. Random list to do for reading actually is not just the Warriors books, because I have other books I own that I bought that I've yet to read. I do know whenever I go to read the next arc, which I need to get book 3 for. Might wait till I have until book 4 comes out in October. Sorry, momentary distraction, got pinged on Discord. My plan actually is to read Rother's Creature, or reread book 1 of it, and then reread Clouded Moon or Shifting Roots, or whatever the first book of the Alliance Saga is. So there's that. If you guys want me to go into like a book review in regards to the 3 of those series, let me know. I won't get into the controversy in regards to the Alliance Saga because from what I've looked into it, it's a bunch of like hearsay and whatnot. Because I have seen the statements of Tennille and the rest of them, not through their Patreon for the Clouded Moon server, but their other Patreon and whatnot. I have seen what people have said and whatnot to some degree from people I follow for fanfiction or just randomly occasional videos I like to watch from them. So that's a whole thing. I did listen to a review of it from one of the people who were doing it, and I feel like the whole situation just tainted the review, and it actually made me paranoid about my own series because they're fictional cats. Sure, I like to personally describe them as larger than big cats, even though their designs are more house cat or domestic like. But outside of them having a double scruff and occasionally an overbite, they're really not that different from other cats. And even then, the overbite can be argued that I'm just taking inspiration from a saber-tooth, which I am. And as for the double scruff thing, it was just me wanting to make the colored fluff and it's quote-unquote helps with protecting the neck and hydration and temperature. But it made me feel paranoid about my own series, to the point of, as you guys know, I'm making new templates for Tales of Rhazie, formerly known as Black Dawn series, because it is formerly the Black Dawn series, that I'm going to be using for drawing Clangen starting next year. Part of the reasoning behind that is because of me listening to a review and them commenting, "You're making a series about fictional cats, why aren't you going wild? They just look like cats." Me, well, they are supposed to look like cats, but oh shit, what about my own cats? They, technically speaking, are an alien planet, and they're supposed to have less familiarity stuff from Earth, because I don't like any of my series taking place on Earth. I want to be able to justify making my own systems, the tweaking of the government. I don't want stuff to be like, oh, this takes place in a real area or whatnot, or people trying to guess which area it's based on. Too much. So yeah, that caused me a whole lot of paranoia for listening to that review. Oh yeah, speaking of fanfiction, I know I can't keep track of what I'm on per second. One of the future series I would like to do is do a reading of fanfictions. So, there is a chance I might DM some weird-cat fanfiction authors if they'd be okay with me doing readings of them and drawing their said characters. There is a chance I might do that. If I do that, it's not gonna be a consistent series. It's gonna be probably inconsistent because this is my second channel, not my main channel. But yeah. With that said, I'm rambling in circles, and I know for a fact I want to go game with friends in a little bit, because I could see both of them in VC. So, I will see you all in the next drawing Clangen. Bye!